Hi, this video is going to revise the topic of international marketing strategies. So an international marketing strategy refers to, as a business expands overseas, does it need to adapt its marketing mix, its product price place to local customers, or can it just keep on selling the things that it's always sold in the ways that it's always sold them in the home market, and can just export that model abroad? So let's start off with a couple of examples. Okay, so here you can see steel girders. Okay, so a steel girder is an industrial product. It's sold business to business. It's sold from steel manufacturers to construction companies so that they can use it to build buildings. This is a product that I would argue has low need to adapt to local customer needs. What do I mean by that? Okay, the main priority for building construction companies around the world is low costs, right? They're going to go for the lowest cost steel girder because one steel girder is interchangeable with another. It's the same in the UK, it's the same in the Philippines, it's going to be the same in Australia. Across the world, there is relatively little need to adapt the steel girder, and there is a relatively high need for construction companies to buy the lowest priced steel girders for those companies' profit margins. Okay, different example here, and you can just have a look. Okay, so I just screenshotted this off an article that was something along the lines of KFC finally starts selling Chinese street food. Okay, so if I just showed you this and you couldn't see the KFC branding, you would not know that this was KFC. KFC have adapted their product to meet the needs of local customers in China. Okay, so what this topic comes down to, international marketing strategies, is whether companies are being forced to compete on as low cost, okay, and or are they? Is there some pressure to be responsive to local needs? So let's go back to the steel girders. Okay, they are competing on cost. You're going to have an aim to increase efficiency, maximize economies of scale, centralize the marketing decisions so that you're not having people in each different country that you sell in make marketing decisions, which is expensive. You've got to pay them. You've just got a head office making all the marketing decisions about how they're going to sell the product, the price, the place, etc. You don't need to do loads of market research and product development. And the aim is that you can pass on these lower costs to customers in the form of lower prices. Okay, so you could think about being a cost leader in terms of Porter. Ansoff would call this market development. Okay, you're taking your existing products and you're selling them overseas. Okay, right. What about if the need for local responsiveness is high? You're going to need to identify local needs through market research, develop new products to meet those needs, perhaps potentially develop new brands. Okay, new brand names, new packaging, etc. You're going to need to change your marketing mix. Okay, the product price promotion in place. Ansoff would call this diversification. And of course, we know that Ansoff was all about the risk of doing these things. Okay, and so we're going to follow a couple of strategies. Okay, so we have got three strategies to be aware of. Okay, on the left-hand side, we've got ethnocentric marketing. This is where we don't make any adaptation to international markets whatsoever. Okay, we just take our existing product, we sell it at the same price, we promote it in the same way. So there's no adaptation of our marketing mix for international customers. We just take our existing business model, it's completely centralized marketing decisions, and we just take that into international markets. So let's go to the other extreme, which is polycentric marketing, where you would not it's the same company, but you just wouldn't recognize the product, the price, the promotion, and the place. It's completely unique to that individual market. You've done loads of market research, you've done loads of product development, and you enter the market. Okay, so ethnocentric marketing you would use if the pressures for cost competitiveness was high. Polycentric marketing you would use if the need for local adaptiveness was high. Now, In reality, these are extreme positions. And of course, most businesses, 99.9% of businesses are going to be along a scale, okay? With ethnocentric marketing is the extreme position on one side, polycentric is the extreme position on the other, and you're going to find yourself closer to one or closer to the other. All right, so let's talk about ethnocentric marketing, okay? So the pros of it, we develop efficiency, economies of scale. We're just producing one standardized product. We're going to get specialization. So Apple, their iPhone, it's not really adapted. They base their manufacturing in China, their marketing in the US. So what they're doing is the US is very strong in marketing, right? Most of the Apple product development takes place in the US. The marketing takes place in the US. These are comparative advantages for the US economy. Manufacturing in China, very competitive, very cheap. And because Apple aren't adapting, they exploit these local talents, and then they use them to produce the lowest possible cost product, the most efficient product. Okay, they're centralizing their decision making. Okay, all of the decisions, all of the key decisions are being made at the head office, which leads to consistency. You're going to recognize brands across the world. It supports a cost leadership approach reporter. All right, the costs of it, or the cons, the downsides are that you're going to have less ability to respond to local needs. You're going to risk losing sales due to cultural differences. It might be demotivating for local managers. They're unable to make any decisions to adapt products in response to local needs. Okay, so benefits of ethnocentric marketing are around centralization of decision making and the economies of scale, equal low costs. The cons, of course, are that we're not taking local needs into account. Polycentric is kind of the opposite of that. We are completely adapting everything, which increases the chance of success in an international marketing. It's very motivating for our junior managers in that company who are able to make all sorts of important decisions regarding the product, the price, the promotion, and the place of our product. But of course, we're going to lose global economies of scale because we're having to produce lower number of goods in each market, and it reduces the consistency of the brand image across markets. Now, if we go back up and just look at the poster here for KFC, the advert, okay, yes, they've completely adapted the product, that's polycentric, but we recognize the brand, okay? That's ethnocentric. The branding decision has been made at KFC headquarters in the US. The product decisions have been made locally in response to local needs. And that's quite a common model where we're centralizing the branding. So we recognize the Starbucks, the McDonald's, the whatever it is as we go abroad, but we have adapted to local needs. Okay. And of course, in reality, most businesses are going to fall somewhere along the scale. So what are the benefits of what's called geocentric marketing, where we're doing a little bit of both? We can standardize and centralize some procedures, elements of production, whilst making some adaptation to local needs. So that's really helpful. We get the best of both worlds, and we get to maximize our sales by showing local customers that we are adapting to their needs. But it requires a lot of managerial expertise. We're trying to balance both standardization and adaptation, which are mutually exclusive. And it does require some analysis of market research to ensure that the adaptations to local needs are effective. Okay, so hopefully that helps you with the key topic of whether a business should aim to standardize and benefit from cost competitiveness, or should it adapt its product to meet local needs.